Hi everybody, this is Colleen from Let's Talk About It. Today I want to talk about something completely different, and that is about my health insurance company and what we're going to do about our health insurance companies. I haven't been able to say anything for a long time because there was a legal issue, but I want to explain a couple things and share them with you, and I'm hoping you'll share some things with me. Maybe we can get some help from either our government or some legal entities or other advocacy groups to help us out. Here's the deal. As you know, I was in a car accident December 3rd, 2023. Minding my own business, going to the store, a young man didn't see me at all. He was stopped at a stop sign, decided to pull out right in front of me, totaled my car, and I ended up with a head injury. I was diagnosed with post-concussion syndrome, occipital neuralgia, and vestibular migraines. They're all different things, but they all are connected to brain injuries. They all affect me in different ways. The young man who hit me got a ticket, and the young man who hit me was underinsured. But I did the right thing, you see. I had full coverage on my car, and I even had underinsured and underinsured, not insured and underinsured coverage. Yay me. I also have a really good healthcare plan because I work at a really great job, private company, and I have really good insurance. I pay part of the premium, and my employer pays the rest. And it's a really good plan. The plan is Aetna. It's managed by Maritime Health. And from what I understand from my research, Aetna is part of the umbrella of CVS Health. Aetna makes billions, with a B, billions of dollars in profits per year. I think they had some losses over the last couple years. So instead of making their 70 billion, they've made 30 billion or maybe 25 billion annually. It's a crying shame. Well, interestingly, while I was going through my treatments with my injuries, one of my doctors noted that and diagnosed me with occipital neuralgia. What is that? That's when the nerves in the back of your head are compressed because of trauma. That means scar tissue has grown around them so that they cannot glide or move the way they're supposed to. Last February 4th, I was approved by Aetna and scheduled to have that surgery. It's a biggie. In fact, I just had it done 2 weeks ago, and I'll explain why. My head is shaved, and I have about a 6 or 7 inch slice across the back of my head. So let's go back to last February. It's approved. Gonna have surgery on a Thursday, gonna shave my head on a Tuesday. Monday night, I got a call from my doctor saying that Aetna has now denied my surgery. So of course I called my care line and got information. Why, I said, why are you not approving this very clear procedure that I need? And it's a biggie. It's a big procedure. It's fragile, it's a long procedure, it's delicate, but it was the only thing left for me. They said it was experimental and it was not protocol of care. To whom, I do not know. So what we do while we're recovering from our car accident and our injuries, this is the other part of trauma that people don't talk about. Now I have to deal with my healthcare company. I'm also dealing with disability, but that's another whole video. So surgery doesn't happen. We do an appeal. My doctor sends peer-reviewed articles, research, you name it, anything and everything, including the names of the other insurance companies that do and have been covering this surgery. Aetna's response, denied. Why? Because it's deemed experimental. Okay. So now we get more information, more peer-reviewed articles, more statistics, and we sent it for a second appeal. Aetna denied it. So here I am thinking, that's it, I'm screwed. I'm gonna live like this the rest of my life because I can't have this surgery. My insurance company, that by the way, is still getting premiums to this very moment, is refusing to allow me to have, although my doctors all agree I need to have it. Okay, so the interesting thing, and something that I want you all to know, is under the Affordable Care Act, if your health insurance company denies you twice, you have the right to do a third level appeal, and that goes to an outside third party. In my case, I went to a company called All Med. When I got the letter back, and this was several weeks later, I jumped for joy because the 5 physicians who reviewed all of my medical records wrote down that they were overturning Aetna's denial because this is absolutely standard of care for me and absolutely care that I absolutely needed. The awesome thing about that is that that decision is binding. Thank God it went my way, or it would have been binding the other way. So of course, what did I do? I very quickly called my doctor and had it scheduled. And just on January, I think 6th of something of this past year, like this month, I had that surgery done. Here's the kicker. It takes about 9 to 12 months to recover from the surgery to know what I'm left with. And I don't know what I'm gonna be left with. This surgery just really addresses the pain in the back of my head. It does not deal with the vestibular migraine, which, by the way, that is a host of symptoms, not just headaches, but it's also issues with eyes, nystagmus, balance issues, incredible noise sensitivity, light sensitivity, a sensation that you're on a boat, you're moving when you're not. So this surgery won't take care of any of that. But interestingly, if I had had this done in February, I would be at the point now, today, that I would know where I am as far as my recovery. The sad thing is, once 2 years went by of my job with me on disability, I'm no longer an employee. So I've lost my job. I've lost my career. I don't know if I'll ever be able to go back to it because I have cognitive and other issues because of my brain injury. I lost all of it. I'm not vested in the pension there. My 401k has been sitting there for 2 years. I can't take it out. Can't add to it, nothing. So here I am, single mom. And the insurance company just gets to decide who gets care and who doesn't, and what kind of care gets covered and what doesn't. So this is the other thing I want to recommend to you. After the second appeal, I called and I said, I want your policy. I want your policy that shows what you exclude in terms of care. So they sent it to me digitally. It was probably not smart on their part, but whatever. And in the corner, it said history. So I clicked on it, and it had every iteration of that policy from its inception. So I went back to 2024, and it just said codes have been updated. Went back to 2023, codes have been updated. 2020, codes have been updated. I said, it's interesting. It looks like absolutely nothing has changed in this policy. I wonder when it was created. Well, when I went back to the history, it had the very first policy. And that policy was written in 2005, 20 years ago, over 2 decades ago now. And Aetna, since 2005, has been denying this and other procedures to its patients. And by the way, that paper that I got, I didn't even print it because I would have killed my home printer because it was over 50 pages long of exclusions. So I just looked at, my diagnosis and what was excluded. That was like 3 pages. So for 20 years, by the way, apparently, according to Aetna, this surgery has been, experimental, even though my doctor's been doing it for years and other health insurance companies have been covering it and doctors around the country have been doing it. They're neurosurgeons and it's delicate and fragile, but it gets done and it is not experimental. So my question to you is this. How many of you have been paying premiums, or your employer pays premiums, or you're in the marketplace and you pay your own premiums and not written on anything, you are denied treatment? Maybe you have treatment and they say, okay, but you can't have anesthesia with it and it hurts like a mother. That happened to me several years ago too. Or you've just straight out been denied and then upon appeal, you were still denied. Here's the thing, they bank on you not fighting. They bank on you hearing that you're denied and then giving up. I said to my brother at one point, what happens to these people? What happens to these people is they either go to work severely impaired and lie, or put themselves and other people in jeopardy because they have to earn a living, or they sell their houses, or they're forced to live with family or friends because they will continue to be completely disabled because they're denied care. The other whole story with this, it's another video. The same Aetna that denied my surgery that all my doctors said I needed. I don't know who makes that decision. I don't know if they're people in suits and ties, but my doctor said it's absolutely what I need, and they said we're absolutely not paying for it. On top of that, they decided to sue me. Yeah, at the same time, they decided to sue me. Because remember that car accident I was in that wasn't my fault, and the other guy got a ticket and my car was totaled and I got a head injury, and I had all that insurance coverage? Well, it turned out that if you're in a car accident, your health insurance can, in some cases, try to claim money back for any services that you've incurred. So I just want to make this straight. If I had a stroke, they would pay for my care. If I fell in my kitchen and whacked my head on the counter, they would pay for my care. And by the way, they're still getting premiums. If any situation like that had occurred, they would pay for my care. Except no, I was in a car accident. So because I was in a car accident, they have the right, and I'm in an ERISA plan, that's a federal plan. The state is a little different. So they could take back as much as they want. They put a lien up larger than the entire amount that I was entitled to, including all of my lawyer's fees, which the lawyer takes a third. So we try to negotiate with them. Excuse us, Aetna, do you have a waiver? Yeah, they have a waiver policy. They sure do. Yeah, they can waive it for hardship or whatever. I explained, I don't have a career anymore. I'm a single mom, and I stepped off of teaching, before my health care, all that stuff, right? No, we're not negotiating. Then I said, well, I have paid your premiums over the last 6 years of the job I was in. So the state law says that if you're going to take my money, you should back out at least the money that I myself, not even my job, but I myself have paid you. They said, no, we want it all. My lawyer hired a company to negotiate on my behalf for the lien that Aetna health plan put against my car settlement. They refused. They wanted half of what was coming to me, and they weren't having any conversation. They weren't using a waiver. They do not care. So not only they deny my treatment that I had to fight for and finally just got 2 weeks ago, they also took half of my money, which I need because I only make 2/3 of my pay right now on disability, and I own a home by myself. So that's what our insurance companies are doing. By the way, I reached out to 2 congresspeople. Neither of them wrote me back. So my question is, who the hell are they answering to? Not me, not you. Who's speaking up for us? Who's protecting us? Who is making sure that a policy written 20 years ago, where some company that makes billions, with a B, billions of dollars in profits annually, who is checking to see if they're even updating their exclusionary policies? Because guess what? Aetna hasn't in 20 years, 2 decades. Who makes sure they do that? I would like to know that answer. So here's my call to action for you. 1, if you've been a patient and you've been denied any procedure, or anyone in your family or friends have been denied any procedure, please write it down below, what was denied and the name of the company, because I think it's high time we put the company names out there. Number 2, this is for the media. I will be writing an open letter to the CEO of Aetna, and I will be sending it to you. Will you cover it? I haven't seen any news media cover anything that has to do with healthcare, not living up to their promises, not covering. Every now and then you'll see a fine here and there, but people are sick, people are dying, and no one's covering it? In the United States of America, this is what's happening to our own citizens? Media, I dare you. I beg you. Can you cover this? Do some investigation? What are we doing here? We're going to bankrupt and allow citizens to remain disabled and refuse them care while the company head is taking millions of dollars in bonuses? What are we doing? The third piece, if there's anyone out there who works for attorneys or a law firm or maybe you're an organization that works on other people's behalf in the world of healthcare, I would love to hear from you. I have nothing but time. I am limited. I can't do the things I used to do. I have trouble reading. I have trouble on the computer, but I'm ready to have this fight. I'm ready to change the laws. I'm ready to do anything and everything to work with you so that people don't have to deal with what I dealt with, or their moms, or their kids, or whatever. We need to handle it. So that's my story. I will tell you the story about them taking my settlement soon as well. But yeah, that's where we are, everybody. Not my normal look. This is the look of being frustrated, incredibly frustrated. People say, oh, I don't understand why people are frustrated about healthcare. This is why we're frustrated about healthcare. This is why.